Good evening. Welcome to your Ass Hurts News Network. Coming to you live from the tip top of Cock Tower Square with your host, Sergeant Friday. Sarge, how you doing? Apparently, you're not doing very fucking good because I can't hear a thing you're saying
Well,
there.
I just
Mute button, please.
listen, God. I was doing fine until your mouth started a flapping. I'm doing awesome. Always doing. I don't know why I jump into this puddle of insanity we call the fucking social media internet. But other than that, everything is fucking basically exactly the way I'd want it to be.
Well, it's the over here on this corner of the fucking street, it's the asshole and cocksucker support group where we all come to unite and filter out the ones that can't handle it, I guess. So, yeah.
I want to see if I can watch the chat room. Someone's making a comment, replying to somebody, but I don't see somebody they're replying to in the chat room, which is fine. But Carl's in here. Carl's a good guy. He takes a beat and it keeps on coming. Throw glitter. Don't know who that is. But yeah, how's your day? You seem a little stressed, like you've encountered YouTube maniac or maniacs.
I'm really not stressed. I'm more
disappointed,
reaffirmed in my standing on a lot of things that I've learned over the past 6 months. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I guess it was, it's 7 months ago. I think sometime around in there is when you and I first encountered each other. And we were in disagreement on certain philosophical points, if you will. And I think we both showed each other a little bit of light from both sides. But, I said it today that you're probably the most important fucking person I've met since I met Clue. Because one of the things that I have struggled with since my realization of the political outrage and bullshit that I fell into in 2020 is identifying and avoiding the outrage that exists and that it's not just in politics, right? And over the past few days, I've seen it occur again. The same thing that I would have gotten drawn into in 2020 occur, but not in the political realm. And I'm just, I'm glad to be awakened to the bullshit and not falling right back into the fucking same old thing.
Well, I was talking to a different streamer. I'll keep the person unnamed because I don't want them to feel offended. You know how people are. We're offended. And I'd sent them an email on Twitter asking them why they don't deal with the facts of the case and stop dealing with all this drama and all these theories. And then I listed the facts of the case that are established based on court hearings. And they're like, I didn't know that. Good points. I go, and that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. You make my point for me. What do you mean you don't know this and you're a true crime streamer? How could you not know? It's abhorrent to me. And we're out here like this guy he's not been around long, Jay Ombre. If you guys like fucking 48 different fucking theories and fucking ideas that can't be connected to any fact, go fucking watch the guy. Well, there's a lot of people out there like that. They're out there making coins.
It's the Writers Guild of YouTube, right? Everybody's got to find some dramatic fucking concept that they can talk about for the day and, hope and pray that something fucking pays off in some form or another, if nothing more than clicks and views, right?
How about all of these streamers? Like I was watching a little bit of a Neural Nugget and whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's complaining, the mainstream money does all of this for money. Well, so do you. What the fuck is wrong with doing this I don't, but I'm just saying, why is that an issue? Why does it make the mainstream media bad? But not, you don't want to bring up the point that all of these people are out here making money and they're doing the exact same fucking thing the media is doing. Right. Nikki's doing it, Ombre's doing it, Harsh is doing it, Crime Circus they're all doing exactly what the mainstream media is doing. They're giving you no facts and just fucking stories and shit to bite your teeth in so you could feel the outrage of the moment. Right?
Well, and what's funny, right, is it's all it takes. Fuck the money. Just be honest with yourself and with everybody else. And people in the world need to fucking wake up and realize how deeply and constantly they're being fucking lied to.
And these people are content creators because they're making money. They're creating topics. It's all they're doing. But these topics have no basis in reality. When a guy starts a show and says this is for entertainment purposes, and then he's going to go on and tell you everything he's giving you is fact. I don't know. When's the fucking last time I went to watch a movie to learn something? Entertainment, entertainment. There's no factual basis to support entertainment other than it's supposed to entertain you. And or I'm not out here, like guys like JLR is all about the money. Well, yeah, but so are you. And you would happily step into the shoes of JLR and take over his channel. Fair enough. I mean, for most of these people out here, isn't that a true statement?
Say that one more time.
Most of these streamers would jump into the fucking JLR's pants and take his place to have that stream that he has, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah.
I mean, who do these people? They're not kidding me.
Yeah, and I mean the reality of it is, right? 99.9% of them that if they ever got the opportunity to take over JLR's stream, right? Let's say JLR said, you know what, fuck this, I'm done. I'm gonna hand it off to whoever fucking wins this raffle, and they won it. There is almost a 0% chance that they would not do the exact same bullshit, follow the exact same fucking model that he follows that worked for him.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they want that fucking dollar.
Yeah.
Right. And it, it is what it is. Everybody's out here. If they're monetized, they're making fucking money. Oh, fucking well. The thing that I think I don't know. I'm more just awakened to how fucking deep it truly runs is the intentional fucking creation of outrage and bullshit. And really preying upon dumbasses is really what it is, right? It's creating an opportunity for a dumbass to show who they are. Let me create something to make you feel outraged about, just to see if you will, if the dumbasses will raise their hand and say, "Hey, I'm here."
Well, we have Mama Bear in the audience, and she's no dumbass.
No.
She's always been polite and kind to me, and I've run into some problems with some of the people connected to Dago's channel, but never once was it her. A good woman.
Yeah, no, I hadn't.
And I'm not, Dago, if you hear that, it's not taking a shot at you. Fat bastard, relax, okay?
But it's just been, I don't know, it's been insane, right? There's been this whole fucking cancel culture attempt, and it's like, for what, y'all? For what? Everybody's fucking triggered, right? There was a song by a guy named Tom McDonald back in 2020 or 2021, and he talks about everybody being fucking triggered, everybody being upset, everybody being fucking offended. And it was funny to me back then because it was true, but I didn't really grasp the depth that runs, right? And it really is. The past few days I've seen a lot of fucking people, I would say well over half, probably close to 80% of the fucking people out here on the internet are here to do one of two things. Either find something to be offended by or find something to create offense for the people looking to be offended.
There you go. It's
and that's literally what it is. And if you're not here for that, it's almost like it's really hard for you to find your fucking place, because you're literally limited to about 20% of the fucking people that are on the fucking internet that you have the opportunity to fucking gain the attention and ear of or participation from, because everybody else is just looking for something to be pissed the fuck off about. And it's crazy.
Well, here's the funny thing that and the duality of life. So people come out here constantly and they complain about the system. They complain about law enforcement. They complain about the courts, right? They go through this big exercise, but then they do everything but pay attention to that. It's just police corruption. And they don't ever want to get into the dirt, the fucking trenches of that. But they want to talk about, maybe these guys walking by the Banfield did it, or maybe Sebastian was taken by Seth or Chris, or they want to get into these outrageous, unsustainable stories and ideas that have nothing to do with nothing except fulfill their feeling of outrage, right? And hide from reality.
Yeah, there's a motherfucker literally live right now with 1.7 thousand fucking people watching.
Right.
Right. And the entire fucking context of what he's talking about is the same thing he's talked about for almost 5 fucking months now.
What is it?
The 3 days before Sebastian went missing. And the only reason he has 1.7 thousand people watching is because there's nobody else fucking on. But people would rather go and watch this motherfucker that half of them or better already know has no clue to what the fuck he's talking about. But because they just gotta fucking go into a chat room and participate in something or go in and be part of some kind of dramatic fucking entertaining stream, that's where they're at. And I'm sitting here like, this shit is crazy. Like, I don't even know what the fuck we're doing with this tool that we have in at our fingertips, right? Like, what are we doing with it?
It's not being used as a tool. It's being used as a toy. It's like we're little children that have no idea not to stick our finger in the outlet. And rather than use this to light the room, right? We're trying to fucking stick fingers in the fucking thing. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. And then the people that get the attention are the idiots. Now, some of these idiots can deliver their content in a much more subtle way and a much more engaging way than I can. I just tell you, go fuck yourself. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be your friend. And of those people that I have befriended on here, and there's been many people I've associated with, but very few of them that I've kept, and I would even remotely say they're friends. Right? You, your wife, or maybe one day wife, who knows? I talk with Dago. I talk with the somewhat with 12 gauge and Twizzle. They're kind of newer to it, but there's very few people out here. Like I was engaged heavily with Rory and Golf Inspector and Tommy.
Yeah.
And then that whole fiasco with Paramount comes out, right? And then you got Tommy doing all these crazy videos. And you got Golf is really kind of in the middle of it all without really being on one side or the other. And then they all come back again. And I have no interest in associating with that as a group. As long as they're associating with Tommy, I have no interest in it. I will not put myself near anyone like that. I don't need the money. I don't need the followers. And more importantly, I don't want to be around people like that. Period. Like that. That's why I go after that guy, Jeff H. Everybody thinks he's such a nice guy. And he does come across that way. But he's one of those little he's one of those little kids in the back of the room during fucking kindergarten who's throwing fucking paper at the girls. Okay. And then someone else is getting, he's the antagonist, and then someone else gets in trouble for his shit, and no one knows he did it but him. Yeah. And he gets his rocks off living like that. And I could, you know, like, I had differences with Tommy a long time ago, but when he went over the fucking edge with them video things, that was the end of it. He showed me just how fucking insane he is, and I have no interest in engaging a person like that at all. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of antagonists, and I'm just going to label it from here on out as the fucking snake pit, right? Because that's literally what it fucking is. It's the fucking snake pit. And I don't know, it's just really interesting to see it fucking unfold and see the level and depth of depravity that fucking exists out here. Like, it's fucking insanity to me. But I don't know why I'm even remotely surprised. I guess because it's the first time I've truly seen it. But we live in a fucked up world with this internet, because it's not the internet that's the problem. It's that it for some reason we engage each other on the fucking internet in the most fucked up of ways.
Look at that. I don't understand how we can have the power of this system and we do the things we do with it. Now, I can accept that that's what we do with it and know that it probably is not going to change in any significant way, possibly in my lifetime. However, the funny thing that I looked at today was, you know, you're controlled, and I've always been controlled by entertainment, whether it be the fucking kill the Catholics in Rome or the Colosseums. And that's what those in power do for those like us, because we really don't mean anything to the people in power. We're just another person to fit in a seat. There's nothing special about us in their eyes. And so, you know, you have a job, Cletus. If you didn't work there, they get someone else to do it. The results may vary, but that doesn't matter. They're going to make money. Fair enough?
Right. Yeah, okay. Exactly.
And here, finally, civilization has come around come across something that was originally designed to create Armageddon on Earth. That's what the internet's for. Its original purpose was to communicate with nuclear missile silos spread out through the Midwest so that we could saturate the Soviet Union with tens of thousands of nuclear weapons, thereby destroying all life on Earth. That's what the internet was created for, folks. And we've continued to use it as a weapon of mass destruction against ourselves because we allow these people to come out here with their half-hearted fucking theorizing bullshit and never pay attention to the true facts. Never actually act against the people that deserve like I believe all the Karen Reed investigators, the police, the forensic, they all need to be exposed and discussed by the thousands. There should be millions of conversations about how inept and how unable they are to do a job. Why are they still employed? No, but let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the fact the cop called the woman a babe, or he made a comment about her flat ass. Let's pay attention to that bullshit. And that's kind of shocking to me because this is an incredible. You call it a tool, I've called it a tool, and that's exactly what this should be for us. Because you fucking nobody out there, not even me, we don't matter. We never have.
Right. That's the thing. and that's the other part of it, right? Not one motherfucker on this internet's opinion about a motherfucking thing matters. The facts that everybody can collectively bring together is the only thing that fucking matter.
Right, and we have the power to change the globe with this. Imagine if 1,000 people in that area were like JLR and they're recording all these people coming across the border, and Americans can actually see it. Because seeing is fucking believing, right? You know, the outrage of the illegal immigration horde would be real. People would really have an issue with it if they could see with their own eyes just what's going on down there. And the narrative, 500,000 of these women and children will go missing over the next year. Thank you, America, land of the free, home of the brave. You see, if thousands of streamer channels focused on not whether Kohlberger is guilty or innocent, but on the justice system that's supposed to be the fucking web that holds us together. Okay, guilty until proven innocent until proven guilty is what's supposed to bind us together. And nobody discusses even what that means or how to interact in a system like that. We've lost our way. And now that we have the tool to find our way, it's been taken over by the kids in school that you wouldn't hang out with when you went and got a job. Right?
Isn't that so fucking true? I don't know how many times I've referred to this tool we all fucking have and are currently using to talk and hear each other on as the fucking hallway in high school and middle school. Like it literally, it's fucking shocking to me. It's shocking to me.
Every American is innocent, presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And there's a process that the police are supposed to follow. Listen, imagine if 10, 15, 20 million Americans started writing down the plate number, the time of day, and sending in that cop went speeding by me at least 10 miles over the limit. And you started telling on the cops that are fucking enforcing the traffic laws that are breaking on themselves right in front of your eyes. That's what we're supposed to do. I don't know what you people think this country is, but if you think other people are going to enforce the rights that are written in that Constitution to your benefit, you're wholly fucking mistaken, because there isn't a single time in modern history where you could show that to be a true thing. It's in fact the opposite. And the reason the Constitution was created and the reason you were given free speech is exactly for the point of calling the dispatcher and saying this fucking guy is speeding. His car number is A12. It's 2:15 p.m. I want to report. You're supposed to police your own society. You're supposed to govern your own society. That's what the documents were for. They weren't for you to just hand it over to people and then go hide under your fucking desk and hope they do the right thing. And then get up in the morning to be outraged when you realize somebody started a war somewhere that we didn't need. Right?
Yeah.
What a fucking bunch of idiots we are. That's why I say there's 5.62 billion morons out here.
No,
and 350 million of them are in America. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're a fucking we're a fucking rare and just I don't know.
We're
I
not.
think
This is how societies are destroyed
I
from
think
within.
our society should be fucking studied. Like we should go down in history like the Romans and the Greeks and everything else, right? Once potentially great, but ultimately fucking dissolved. Like, because
Right.
it's, I mean, that's just where I see it, right? Is we're kind of at the point where that's kind of where we're at. We're dissolving right before our own fucking eyes, and we're just sitting back and allowing it to fucking happen.
Yeah, I find it rather sad. And on the other hand, though, I don't find it that unusual when you look at history, because as smart as everybody thinks they are, you're doing nothing different than has been done throughout all of human history. The governments and the government that you're under now is no different than you've seen throughout human history. It all comes to this. And the reason it comes to this is because those that are free forget that there's a responsibility that comes with it. There's personal actions you must take to maintain that freedom. And we've surrendered that to people that we feel like we're paying them good money. Aren't they doing the right thing? Because they make more money doing it the way they want to do it. Right?
Yeah.
It's just a sad state of affairs. I don't, I wouldn't mind having a discussion about who could have potentially committed the Koberger crime, but on a wholly separate level of conversation, and a constant reminder that none of this means anything towards the actual case in progress, and not come out and say, like I'm waiting for someone to come out and tell us who the IDs of the 3 unknown DNA are. Someone like Jay Ombre or fucking Harsh, one of these people. How about Crime Circuits? He's probably going to discover that 2 of the DNAs, one came in through a fucking Black Hawk helicopter and the other through a parachute. Right? I mean, right?
That's how the
Another
fucking
person's going to have another person's going to be a viewer, and they're going to tell you where Sebastian is, but they can't tell you exactly what state. But this is the, you know what I mean? They're going to give you some happy horseshit, and that's all that keeps happening over and over again. These true crimes, and I get a kick out of the true crimers. No, I don't want to talk about politics. Well, that's all you're talking about here.
Yeah, you are fucking you are politicians. There are very very fucking few genuine real fucking people, right, in the world, and even fewer that are actually using this fucking tool and staying true to who they are and showing you exactly who the fuck they are. And anybody that's not, that's what they are, is a fucking politician, because they're doing what they're doing. They're hiding something about themselves because they're seeking fame, power, money, something, right? There is an ulterior motive. That's why they won't just be who the fuck they are.
Listen,
And
and I don't object to like some of the content that Harsh and others put out. I don't object to that, but they need to qualify that, and they need to repeat it many times during their stream. That this is in no way any form of reality connected to the case. It's just a perspective that may, in fact, have some relevance, but probably not. The real issue of the case is in the documents and the court proceedings, and those should be what you pay attention to. They should be letting viewer. I'm not really objectionable to people's theories, but what I get objectionable about is people take it to heart as if there's some validity to this theory, and then they want to bring it into other streams, and other streamers pick it up, and then they'll come in here and ask me about it. If it isn't documented or spoken in a transcript somewhere, then it has nothing to do with nothing in my mind. I don't want to talk about it. I don't care. And same thing with Sebastian. I only want to know if the boy has been found, what more efforts are being put forward. Or there, that stuff is really all we're going to be able to get from that case at this point, right?
yeah,
And I don't care what Chris did or Katie did or Seth did, because unless it connects to the boy, it's none of my damn business. I don't know. I don't think I'm a rare person. I think if more streamers were to approach things that way, I think you would find heavy viewership amongst those streamers. And I think other streamers would then start copying them instead of copying JLR and Harsh, right?
yeah.
I mean, who are their examples of how to do this? So I don't know. On the sunnier sides of things, I was listening to Gitta and his new channel.
Yeah, you had told me he came back under a different name now, right?
Yeah.
Well, what's he talking about?
Well, I don't know. I'm not really up to date on what he's talking about as much. I was paying attention a little bit today. He's bringing up that Chrysler 300, but to me, the issue of the cars around that house has been solved. That's been, to me, it's a closed door. When the officer Payne said the car around that house was an 11 to 13 Elantra. That when he said what he said in that courtroom about that, the issue's dead. I am no longer in need of identifying any vehicle around that house because the key vehicle that would put Brian Koberger at the scene has been proven not to be his. So to me, the issue's dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't care if there was a Chrysler 300, if there was a John Deere 1600 fucking tiller. I don't give a fuck what went through there. A moped, 1,800 people on feet. I don't give a fuck. None of that is in the accusations against Koberger.
What are your thoughts about Ann moving into the state prosecutor or the defense, being funded basically by the state instead of the county of Kootenai? Anything? I just see it as an allocation of funds where they ought to be allocated from.
And it may be a sideways move in her career or a step up in some way, and that she's now going to be paid by the state directly. I think that's what this is about. I think it's about how her payroll is handled. And I don't know, but she's not like being removed from the case or removing herself from the Koberger case. So this is internal budgetary things, I think, from the little bit that I've read. And I don't think it pertains to anything as far as the Koberger case goes. And then there's a question here. Payne had said that the vehicle around that house is an 11 to 13 Hyundai Elantra. He was questioned. That was brought up in the hearing where he testified. And he's also said to us that the PCA was assembled by others and given to him, and they helped him put it together. But we now know that the original identity by the FBI, that there was an 11 to 13 Elantra around that house. The car in the PCA is the 11 to 13, which is offensive to me because that means they always knew it wasn't Koberger's car. So that to me is just highly offensive, that they carried a case forward and they allege suspect vehicle 1 is being Brian Koberger, only to find out Koberger drives a 2015. So that's an answer to what did Brett Payne say? And there's other things that they've said in these hearings that are just offensive. I mean, you use this data to get this guy arrested and indict him, and this data is inaccurate. They lead you to see something and think something, but the direction they're pointing is, they're pointing up, and the real truth is down at their feet.
Well, I'm offended that they called him an incel. That's an offensive term for me.
Well,
and I think they should be fucking canceled because of it.
I agree with that too. Here's another question. Didn't Ann ask about how they changed it from a 13 to include up to a 16? And Ann has told us how they did that. The car around the house was 11 to 13. Stop. End of story. Mm-hmm. The FBI, according to Ann, the FBI relied heavily upon a video, an image of a car going the wrong way at the wrong time on the wrong road to identify a 14 to 16 Elantra.
And then somebody came along and said, "There, you think it could be a 15 to 16?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?"
Well, no, they actually gave him a picture that he identified as a 14 to 16. But the FBI agent was given 2 pictures from 2 different locations, and he identified 2 different cars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Ain't that something?
The car around the house, that's an 11 to 13. The car on some road we're not aware of at the wrong time going the wrong way, that's a 14 to 16. And I said that the whole time. That they didn't say 11 to 13, oops, we mean 11 to 16. They specifically identified 2 different vehicles in the PCA, or even in their warrants, wherever they referred to the vehicles. 2 different cars, 2 different locations. Ann Taylor has confirmed that. And at this point, so is Brett Payne. So is the state. So, I don't know. Same thing with the Karen Reed case. There's so many mistakes in the Karen Reed case, and the cops lying blatantly to the jury, and he's not being charged. I don't know how you can get away with that.
Have you seen anything about the jurors that are speaking out now, and if they've been vetted or if they're real jurors?
No, but I'm seeing. Listen, I'm seeing a divide. Let me tell you a divide I see in true crime. There's those of them that are like the other ones, that if the government says the earth is warming, they jump right on board. And they'll defend that without looking anything up. Mm-hmm. I think what you're seeing in the Karen Reed case is exactly that. You're seeing half the people are willing to think and consider the facts, and the other people are like, well, they wouldn't arrest her, wouldn't be making these claims and putting us through 10 weeks of trial unless she was guilty. And so, in other words, there's another group of people that just, whatever the government does, they go along with it. They don't examine it. They don't want to question it. They accept it for what the government tells them to accept it for. And then there's a group like us that'll think and try to understand and put it together and make sense of it. And those people are the ones that are saying not guilty on one of the charges. Two of the charges they say they agreed were not guilty. One charge was hung. And it's involuntary manslaughter, I think.
What were the two charges that they agreed were not guilty?
Murder, manslaughter, I think, and murder in the second degree. If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on this. I'm going off of memory. And I don't know what happened to Truth, why he would have jumped off, but and I can't imagine what could people be, I wish they would attack me. I mean, come on, make my day.
So here, let me give you the culmination, right? So there's this nasty bitch named Terry Lynn that's been playing games in the background in the Sebastian case. She got involved with a fucking LARPing dog handler, which stands for live action role play, meaning they dress up. They may have some validity in terms of what they claim to be, but they're doing nothing but playing fucking games in the background. And they got ensued. They ensued and got engaged with each other over a bunch of fucking drama. This shit all came to a head on Sunday on a particular panel, and ever since then, people have been, and during that exact stream, the host of that panel made comments in her own chat to say that men who speak to trigger are triggering or something. And ever since then, people have been fucking coming at him, demanding this, demanding that, demanding that he go and fucking chastise Clue for shit she has said and this and that. And at the end of the day, Truth just said, look, I came here for one reason, for the Sebastian, to help find Sebastian and to discuss finding Sebastian. And that has gotten lost in a bunch of fucking drama. And he's absolutely right. It's not that he bowed out because of any pressure from anybody. It's because he just refuses to participate in the fuckery that goes on in this with the 5.62 billion motherfuckers. He's done exactly what I've been saying. I think it would do everyone a huge fucking service to themselves to do. Step the fuck away from the internet for just a little while. Just step the fuck away from it at times, right? Just turn that motherfucker off. There is a whole world out here that has nothing to do with the fucking internet. And we all just have the such a fucking, I don't know. When I say we all, I'm speaking to myself specifically as well. We've got this tendency to get wrapped up in bullshit that doesn't fucking matter. And, he just decided he's not going to fucking take part in that. So, yeah. A couple thousand fucking roosters were slaughtered today. Because he called his channel the Rooster Society. So, yeah. Are you muted?
I was talking to a buddy the other day about cars, and he's a big race car guy. And he's like, and he used to race. He has obviously custom engines that make well over 1,000 horsepower, and then he hits them with that much nitrous. So 1,800, 2,000 horsepower cars. This is serious shit. And we were talking the other day, and he goes, and I said that Chevy loves that nitrous a lot more than that Pontiac, don't it? And he looks at me, he goes, yeah, isn't that weird? I go, I don't think it's weird. And he goes, why not? I said the angle of the bore is different. The pistons that move up and down of the cylinders do so at a different angle. And when the mixture ignites, I think it's that angle that gives the Chevy the advantage. The angle of the Chevy, the piston is more straight up and down. Therefore, the explosion spreads across the top of the piston much more evenly. Where on a Pontiac, your engine is wider and your pistons run almost laying on their side. Not quite that, but it's a more spread bore. So they lay on one side more than the other. And so when that fuel mixture lights, it's going to interact differently within that combustion system. And he goes, where do you come up with this fucking shit? He goes, that makes an awful lot of fucking sense. I said, well, whatever differences are in the motors. They both have cams. They both have pistons. They both have fucking valves. What other difference is there in the motor if not just the angle of the bore? And he goes, yeah. See, and here's what would have drove me nuts. If he would have brought up bicycles or fucking horses. And that's what people on the internet do. You're trying to have an intelligent conversation. The next thing you know, they're coming out of left field with shit that don't even pertain to the topic you're on.
Right.
It's like, what?
Yeah. Well, no, I
exhausting.
mean, it's, deflection and fucking, I don't know. It's outrage, and then using outrage to deflect from other outrage that should, that's starting to come to light. Right. And that's what I've sort of seen since Sunday, is that, and even Sunday, that there was deflection created with outrage to deflect from outrage that was being identified, something valid to be outraged over. And it worked, because there's 5.62 billion fucking idiots out here that will play into it. And it's crazy. It's crazy.
Right. And it's so easy. If you notice, I don't really spend a lot of time watching channels anymore. And it's not a personal issue. It's that I don't really, I mean, I do say shit about different streamers or people, but I wouldn't engage entire shows or fucking chase them around and get involved in that. That's been happening a lot when it comes to Sebastian and all the people surrounding the Sebastian case. It's like, I can't really thrive in an atmosphere like that, because I just want to tell everybody to go fuck themselves and just not watch. And so, like, I took all those days off. I didn't have anything to do with the internet all of those days. And if I did, it was to play a game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And look how fucking happy you are, Sarge, all the time. I'm just saying,
I am relatively happy. I don't even remember the last time I said I was depressed. I didn't feel good, or the closest I came was my finger was hurt. But yeah, and I do mean it when I say I have an awesome life.
My finger hurts. I'm not depressed.
And it didn't.
Well, she certainly depressed that finger enough to smash it.
she smashed it, just not up her ass in the middle of the night.
My ring finger does not fit in my bunghole.
Oh fuck!
Oh my god! Yeah, and so where is there any update of those billboards still going?
The billboards are still going.
That's amazing.
She showed the numbers Sunday to dispel more bullshit, fucking hate and rumor, gossip, nonsense. And if I remember, it was 1.58 thousand that's been spent so far, and I don't know, it's a fucking astronomical amount of fucking impressions. Like Sebastian's face and the information about him missing has been displayed pretty much across the entire southeast coastline and then some. And, at the end of the day, I look at that and I go, yeah, hate the fuck away. Y'all hate the fuck away. We came here got involved in this case for one fucking reason. We're working on that reason. And there's a whole lot of people in the community that are here for the same reason. They've contributed to that cause. And I think every one of us should hang our hat on the fact that we're doing what we can.
Yeah. And there's really nothing new to come out on any of the stuff that I focused on. And some of the stuff we focused on have been solved when it came to eyes and the Kansas City 3. And I find those two cases as epic examples of the depth of fucking outrage and ignorance people flock to. It's never ending. And some of these streamers, like I don't need to know about the video of people on Banfield. I don't need to know about Harsh's bullshit about the Aryan Nation being. There's no entertainment in that at all. I'm really, and that's the point is we've turned our lives, folks, into a joke, literally a joke, and then you get mad at a guy like me that tells you you're a fucking asshole. And I swear, and I'm your fucking problem. You fucking empty-headed fucking morons. The last thing that's your problem is what's coming out of my mouth. You're your own fucking worst enemy. Right? And that goes in real life every day. That's an unequivocally unfucking deniable truth. We are our own fucking worst enemy.
Hell yes, we are.
Right?
We are.
Yep.
That's I don't know. That's why I say a lot of times, like, I just think a lot of people should really make time to turn the fucking internet off for a while.
Yeah.
And go reflect on what you spend your fucking day doing, what you spend your time on the internet doing. What's your point in getting on there? And really think about that. And if it's not for anything fucking productive, don't fucking get on it.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't object to people using this for entertainment, but what I
Well,
object
even
to,
entertainment has a productive purpose, right?
right, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm
No,
not.
not at all.
I think that's one aspect, but everything in America has become part of entertainment.
Hmm.
You can't have a
Including,
conversation about anything political without it turning into some form of entertainment and back and forth among people.
well, what the problem that is creating, or that we've created, allowed to be created, is we use outrage for entertainment
Right.
now. And that's where the fucking depravity truly lies, right? We
Right.
use I found out the other day that there were pictures of some certain children that were in a crime that some sick fucking cunt on this internet in true crime was selling fucking photos of, selling crime scene photos, the real
Yeah.
crime scene photos of these
Yeah.
fucking kids.
Yeah. I know. Well, look at this person. Let me just say, and this is what really gets me going here. The evidence against BK is from an informant. Show me a document that proves that. You can't. I don't think they have much evidence. Well, all the evidence that they've used to arrest the guy has been debunked. It's been proven false. There was no stalking. There is no way to locate him by his cell phone at all. There are no videos that place him at the crime scene at all. And the car they allege is suspect vehicle one is 100% a 2011 to 2013 Honda Elantra, which means it isn't Brian Kohlberger.
Well, and
So
I'll,
every
I'll
single
say
thing alleged has been proven false.
I'll say this, right? What you're saying is right, and here's what I would say to that comment about it's the evidence against him is from an informant. If it's from an informant, that's fine. But however, the ultimate problem still exists. You arrested him without fucking claiming that.
Right.
You didn't tell him that's the evidence that you have. You didn't tell him there's an informant. You told him a bunch of bullshit that he already knows you can't fucking prove. So at the end of the
Even
day,
worse than that, this hombre dude is saying that there's a co-defendant. Okay, then where's the charged co-defendant?
right, where's the fucking case against him or her?
Where is it? Where's Ann Taylor questioning any evidence or any discovery on a co-defendant and or a informant? Because the unknown informant, they're listen, even though they're not naming the informant, the fact that the informant exists doesn't have to be a secret. Their identity can be maintained secret, but any evidence, he fell out, he's back in. Any evidence that they're going to use against Kohlberger has to be given to him in discovery, but the thing the discovery cannot include is the identity of the informant. And just so you know, the only informant that we can absolutely prove, okay, the only one that we can prove is the FBI. How do we know Tanya Rhodes testified for the grand jury? How do you even know that? I've never even heard that name connected to this case. Have you? Maybe this is new information we should consider. Where's that? Would you have proof of that?
Yeah, I've never heard that name before.
Right.
Does it ring a bell for you?
What?
Tanya Rhodes? Rhodes? I've never heard that.
Is it a person?
I'm guessing, yeah. They're saying the informant is Tanya Rhodes. She testified for the grand jury.
Maybe a friend of theirs or something, or maybe a friend of his.
I have no idea. First
but
time
it's
I've
supposed
seen
to be
it.
an informant for the prosecution.
Yeah.
This I've never heard that name before, and I've heard all kinds of shit. That's the first one time I've ever heard, and nothing comes up when you Google it to connect it to that. Yeah. So where's the evidence of that, Texas Rose? That's the now this may not apply to this, but let me just say it. All of this third party shit that people bring in with no verification is like tits on a bull. Its validity cannot be considered because there's no evidence that it exists. Therefore, if things can't be established to exist, you can't consider them. Listen, that's not a level of intelligence that's like a grand level of intelligence. That's like idiot, stupid fucking intelligence, right? The evidence doesn't exist, so I can't consider it. Oh, that's 1 + 1 = 2. Right?
Well, and let me tell you how real fucking that problem is, right? Of doing just that, of grunting on theories and promoting theories that can't be fucking documented and proven as fact. You end up with a child that's missing, and all parents being accused of fucking hurting a kid that ultimately is just missing.
Right.
You know,
Right. So
like it literally becomes
Officer
that.
Payne was asked about the vehicle that drove around that house. Where's the video? That's where he confirmed it was an 11 to 13 Elantra. The FBI identified the proper car. And you're starting to feel like that jerk off Jeff H. Okay. With your questions. Go watch the hearing. I'm not the only one that derived that from that hearing. Other people derived it it was shocking that he tells you the car that was on video going around that house was an 11 to 13 Hyundai Elantra. That's fucking shocking for the cop that wrote the PCA to tell you that. Now, I don't think I'm mistaken in that. Clue, you guys seen this stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other person, where's your proof? You're going to come in here and make these statements. The informant is Tanya Rhodes. Where is your proof?
I don't know. I mean, I do agree with one thing that he said, that they were describing the wasn't it you that said they were describing a 13 in the camera footage on Linda Lane, but then a 15 in a different camera footage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I said that they were identifying 11 to 13 on Queen and King Road.
Mm-hmm.
That car that they said they were looking for was identified correctly, and
I
that's
do
the
agree
car.
with that.
Pardon?
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And I also find it funny that they don't even know how many people were in the car, yet Brian's windows are not fucking tinted.
Mm-hmm.
How could you not see how many people were in that vehicle? Makes no damn sense.
Look at I don't know what people aren't watching or how they're hearing it, and it's possible that I've misheard, but it was very clear to me that Officer Payne had made the statement that the car that was driving around the house was an 11 to 13 Elantra. That the FBI and then another point in fact that supports that argument was before that hearing ever happened, and filed a motion telling us. Okay. No, he didn't. He did expand to a 2016 via the FBI vehicle report, but it was a second fucking video and a second fucking picture.
Right. That's what I'm
motherfucker.
saying.
That's what I can't stand. Get the fuck out of here.
Like the fact that they had to go back. Period.
They sent him. Yeah, they sent him two different videos from different locations, and in one of them, I keep telling you, Brian is going to absolutely admit that that's him in that car.
I agree.
But the original idea of the car, where they came out and they asked the public on information on that vehicle, is correctly identified. That's the Elantra in the video that we've seen. Whether it be Linda Lane or the PCA alleging that a vehicle did 3-point turns, the vehicle parked, the vehicle drove off at speed, that fucking vehicle's an 11 to 13. Okay? And the idea that there's some witness, right? I have an idea someone was found in water. I don't care if a grand jury member talked to Steve Goncalves. You're talking about third-party jerk my dick information. We don't accept that. That's not how you fucking assess a situation. You don't take unverifiable fucking information and weave it into your narrative to come to a conclusion, you fucking empty-headed moron. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry there, Cletus. I got no tolerance for fucking stupidity, bro. It's over. I'm not putting up with it at all. If you don't have a document to support it or a fucking place you can reference me to go see to support it, then go fuck yourself. Cletus?
Well, and I mean, are they referring to something that Steve has said, or is this something that is alleged to have been said by Steve?
Well, a little bit of both. Could be either way.
And yeah. I mean, if Steve, and if Steve is out here saying it, right? I get the tendency to want to put faith in something the parent is saying. However, there are plenty of other cases you can go look at and see firsthand things that a parent in a situation will say that won't hold fucking water. for multiple reasons, right? Sometimes it's just complete bullshit. Sometimes it's just a game of fucking telephone. And at the end of the day, before it gets perpetuated onto the fucking internet, it needs to be asked of the person that's saying it, where is the proof of this claim? And if you can't provide that, why are you talking about it?
Right. Listen, it's not that hard to just to take the data that you have and have it paint a picture for you. And the picture could be absolutely wrong. But you're not wrong in doing that. Now, if you're going to add to that to create a picture you think it should be, now you're a fucking asshole. Okay, cut it out. Right? Don't accuse me of cheating because I went to the fucking store. The store isn't evidence. If I said I went to the store, you have to accept I went to the store. Don't accuse me of cheating. Fair enough?
Yeah.
All right. If I get a history of cheating and a history claiming I'm going to the store to cheat, then make the claim all fucking day. Right? I earned it.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible. Yeah, see, this fucking guy is just an unfucking repentant jerk off.
I was about to do that. You beat me to it.
An unrepentant fucking jerk off. This guy should give up where the fuck he lives. He really should. An unrepentant fucking jerk off. I would stick that guitar so far up your fucking ass that you wouldn't have to pluck the strings. You'd simply have to move around, and the strings would get plucked from your internals.
Who is he talking about?
It's what's his name?
Unbelievable.
For you, Stevie.
The police told us in the beginning they were looking for an 11 to 13. That identification connects to the house directly. That's what they wanted to know. The PCA described that car driving around that fucking area. Okay? And the 2014 to 2016 was identified from a separate video from a completely different fucking area. Okay? At a different time. That's how you got two vehicles in this. They didn't misidentify, nor did they expand. We think it might be a 16. That's not what the fuck they did. They specifically identified two different vehicles at two different locations at two different times. End of story. And I don't give a fuck if you want to accept it or not. Stop coming to my stream, you mealy mouth little fucking queer.
What the fuck does that mean? Mealy mouth?
I don't know, bro. Just these shit just float from my fucking creative mind.
It just sounds fucking. It sounds funny as hell. I have no idea what the fuck it means, but it's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god!
It's an old time saying, bro.
What are you saying? Oh my gosh, too.
Jeff H2.
Jeff H2 is in there.
No.
Oh, she got rid of it.
Just ban him. Every time you see him, just ban that fucking guy. Really, Mount is an old school. Look at an unhoused person gets it.
What's the bitches on here?
Oh,
man.
Yes, that was set. Just add it to the list.
Yeah, and you've got listen. I'm just besides myself that the government can do this to a citizen, and then people will so fucking go to every extreme to defend the actions of the government and never even allow you to question the government, or they'll act like it don't matter. Don't matter what they did. If they got the right guy, that's all that matters. And that is not American justice. That's not how the fuck it works. If that's the case, they should be breaking into everybody's fucking house and searching everybody's house to find a fucking crime that you may or may not have committed. That's the kind of shit you people seem to agree with. It's incredible. Please.
Yeah, I don't know, it's fucking amazing the shit we'll allow ourselves to get distracted by. And you know, at the end of the day, I think it is a situation where maybe it's not so much that we purposely allow ourselves to get distracted, but outrage is the fucking medium that we entertain ourselves with. And there's a lot of motherfuckers that have realized that they can steer us through that, right? Oh, well, they're going to go get entertained by watching this. Well, let me feed them the fucking outrage that I want them to feel during their entertainment time. And then we all become a bunch of miserable fucking sons of bitches mad at each other instead of the fucking people that played us for the fools that we are.
Right. Yeah, I just find it interesting that people like, to me, if you really have to create all these user accounts to keep jumping into someone's account to just get attention, as if there's some value to that. I'm never going to bring up what anything that looks like that. Just be aware, folks. I don't care who you. If you're Cluminati and you come in here talking like Jeff, I'm going to consider you Jeff and fucking ban you. Okay, that's just that simple. I don't give a fuck who you are. Okay. I have no love lost here. All right. I'm an asshole from top to bottom, and there's nothing going to change that.
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. If my co-host starts talking like that, he's going to get banned too. I don't give a fuck.
I would expect nothing less. And just so that you know, the roosters and chickens that are in the chat are in memory of truth.
Why did he quit? What got him so? What could make him quit?
Hey, hold on. The audience said that he needs some vitamin P.
Some vitamin P?
P.
As in?
Pussy.
Oh,
it could be.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, he's married though, so.
They're talking about you.
Yeah, they're talking about you there.
Oh, no, I don't need pussy. I got laid over I'm just not one of those braggarts that's going to come out and try to, let everybody hear my conquests.
And
I prefer to fuck left-wing women, if you guys want to know the truth.
But back to your question, why did he quit? I don't think he quit. I consider it, in talking with him one-on-one about it, I consider it more he made the choice to walk the fuck away, right? Like, I've heard a lot of people that have covered a lot of these cases, specifically missing kids cases, talk about how fucked up Summer Wells' case was. And I'm not up to speed on that case, right? I know that there's a missing child. But I've heard many people say that Sebastian's case is Summer Wells times 1,000. And I think it's a situation, right, where Truth has got he's got a big fucking heart. He's got a good fucking heart. He's got a lot of facts that and a lot of things to offer. And he came into a case that, unfortunately, the drama side of these motherfuckers has run rampant in, and they decided to use him as a target in the midst of everything, and he just doesn't want to fucking partake in it, and I don't blame him.
Well, he's got that ban button like I do, and Clue has, and I wouldn't let people chase me off. You know what would chase me off? What chases me off is eventually you get to the point where you feel like things are futile.
Well, but that's the thing that I think I probably should say. He hasn't gotten chased off. He just took his channel down. He's still around. He just took his channel down because he's not going to let people use his channel as more ammunition to feed the fucking.
Oh, they're taking little clips out of there and then extrapolating on him.
All right, they're using him as a means to create their fucking drama.
Oh man, they could do that for me. You guys could take anything I say in here and fucking clip it out and go make fun of me. I fucking love it. I have no objection to that whatsoever. Have a fucking ball.
People keep sending me these videos and they're like, watch this and watch that. I'm like, I ain't watching that bullshit. All I need to know is you got my fucking name in your mouth. That's good enough for me. Yeah. Be mad. Right. Be fucking outraged. I'm over here happy.
I just got another name to add to the fucking new snake in the pit. Right. And I read something interesting today. Did you know snakes will fucking eat each other?
Yeah, they will.
Well, if they're hungry, what else are they going to eat?
Well, I agree 100%, right? And that's been kind of the motto of the day for me is let these fucking snakes eat each other. And damn, if it didn't happen within 12 fucking hours of it starting today, you already see them fucking fangs into each other. It's funny as hell watching it fucking happen.
Yeah,
I just wish I had some gasoline to throw in the fucking pit with a match. But
so
it is what it is.
I'm mad.
Why?
I tried to tell Truth my joke about what they did today, snuffing the rooster, and he did the punchline for me, fucking jackass.
So his channel, like I got a notification today, they paused my memberships. I don't know what that means, Clue. What does that mean? They paused my memberships.
Why?
On your channel or your memberships to other channel? You're not a member to any channels, are you?
No, it's on the channel. They said it was about the channel.
I don't know. Somebody probably somebody in their hate parade probably tried to target yours too and didn't realize that you're not monetized. So
yeah, there you go. Create 44 more fucking profiles and complain. See if I give a fuck. And look at it. If they ban me from this fucking place, I don't really care.
Well,
right.
To be very honest with you, I'm going to say this. You know what? The loss is yours, not mine.
Amen.
The loss is the community of fucking YouTube. Ain't my loss. You
Well,
guys
and
would be
that's-
losing a valuable fucking asset. So go have at it.
Right, and that's the real fucking thing that sucks about Truth having to make the choice that he made. Right, is we lost a
No,
fucking
it's Truth.
contribution.
It's Truth's channel. Someone said I got that too. It's Truth's membership.
Oh,
So if you were a member of Truth,
yeah, you
Oh,
probably got gifted a membership to Truth or something.
Oh, all right. Well, there. Well, look at like the fucking the pinnacle of arrogance. Go fuck all yourselves, because I'm an asset to you. You guys aren't giving me anything.
I swear to God, that's my soul. That's my fucking spirit animal right there.
Sarge is Clue's spirit animal. There you go.
I mean, fuck. It's not to say that look, there's a number of people in here that have made some valid points, produced some excellent fucking documentation, and are very, very fucking intelligent. You guys are the minority.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I love that minority. So if you know you're in that minority, you obviously wouldn't take what I just said personal. You would like Clue. Say, yeah, you're fucking right. We benefit the community.
Yeah.
We bring a perspective, and we slap you in the fucking face over and over again to try to wake your ass up. It's like an old 20s movie where all the women faint at the fucking glass breaks and they're fainting. Well, we're the guy that comes over and slaps you back and forth to wake your ass up. No fainting on our time. We got no time for fainting.
One day we may have to rebrand this to GFY News Network. Go fuck yourself.
It's fucking incredible, man. So people go too far with stuff. I don't. They go too far with shit. I could see that Carl loves being there. Carl's got to be one of the best fucking members I've ever had on any stream ever.
Right, I see Carl in a lot of fucking streams that I'll
Dude, you
watch.
could run that guy over with a steamroller, okay?
Fuck
Then
yeah.
inflate him with steam and then run him over again, and he just hangs with you.
So Carl is my fucking spirit animal. That motherfucker
He's
just
my
rolls
hero.
around until somebody gets agitated and says something that's correct and angry, and he's like, "Hell yeah, let me have more."
Oh yeah, and if you're having a stream and then he's like, you get calm.
He's awesome, bro.
Can we go back to batching?
Yeah, Carl, he will. It'll get calm, and he'll go like, "All right, enough of this fucking frou-frou bullshit. Can we go back to hating on each other?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
Really believed that photo with the powdered sugar was. Do you know how much goddamn
who believed that?
cocaine
Wait,
is?
who believed that?
I don't know. They're telling me the way they fell for that. Do you know how much fucking money is in that
Hey,
goddamn
hell yeah.
lunch pail?
So we had this photo up. She and I took one time. I had a buddy that he sent me a picture. I forget how it was, but anyway, we filled this old lunch pail with fucking powdered sugar and stuck our fucking faces in it, and then took a picture of ourselves with our eyes wide open and our mouths like, oh, looking like we fucking just stuck our faces in a vat of cocaine. Yeah. I had that shit up on the screen for copyright fucking things. And I guess somebody has ran with that, saying that, see, I told you. And we got guns. Don't fuck with us. We're a bunch of fucking cokehead 2A fucking card carrying members of the Psycho Squad. Fuck yeah.
Oh man.
And we do it while we're swimming.
Yeah, and we do it under fucking water. Beat that, bitches.
Fuck, we are the pros. Our snorkels aren't fucking snorkels, they're fucking straws, okay? Fuck rolling up $1 bill, you pussies.
Oh, that shit's so fucking funny to me. I can't believe somebody actually fucking took that shit and ran with it. That's fucking hilarious. God damn. People are fucking. I want a screenshot of that fucking community post so that I can frame that motherfucker. I will literally waste a piece of paper and some ink printing that shit off to frame it, because that's funny.
Yeah.
Proof that there are 5.62 billion fucking idiots out here on the internet.
And we don't have to be. That's the fucking saddest part of all. Right? I mean, I want to know who the other 3 male DNAs are.
Right.
I want to know why those other 3 male DNAs aren't considered part of this crime. And if they are, who the fuck are they? That would be interesting information. someone coming in here like that other asshole telling me that they heard something from Steve Gonclaves or Gonzalez about a grant, and they're naming people. Who the fuck are you to name Tanya Rhodes? People shouldn't have that name. If she was part of a secret grand jury and you were privy to the information, you should keep it to yourself.
And if Steve Gonsalves himself came out and fucking said it, he should be fucking chastised for putting that out there, because that person undoubtedly will get fucking they will go through the gamut of fucking shit, right? Like they will. And maybe it may not even be a real fucking person. It could not even be the fucking name. And who gives a fuck at the end of the day? Put it in fucking courtroom and talk about it.
Right. Well, someone's asking a good question, and I say that you are allowed to change your fucking mind, but you have. It's very difficult for people to keep coming out and telling you who did it and keep changing who did it. Okay, and then going back to the fact that he's going to now, he's making an argument that there's a co-defendant. Well, I've never heard of a case where 2 or more people were involved in a horrific fucking crime, and only one of them was charged publicly. I've never heard of that before. Have you, Cletus?
No, I've heard the rumor of co-defendant, but it's something that I've just never allowed to fucking gain any traction in my gears in my mind. Right? I hadn't seen any documents about it, so.
Well,
no, there's some documents and there's some motions about Exhibit A, but what people don't realize is that some of these statements in some of these documents are standardized statements of law. Right? Some of they give you numbers 16D, 16L, case 1102,
but
blah, blah, blah.
Anything that looks out of fucking place or non-standard in this case, get the fuck out of here. Go read the PCA and tell me what is standard in that fucking PCA. Not a goddamn thing, because there's nothing in it that's based solely on fucking fact.
Right. And so that's the catch-22.
If the rest of it, it's bullshit, right?
If you have this kind of data, if you have a pertinent witness, a direct witness to the crime that includes Kohberger, where is that information? Why has this been going on for 19 months? There's been no motion, there's been no filing, there's been nothing other than a filing that refers to a co-defendant, but doesn't actually look at a co-defendant means, just so people know. Start out with this. Go define for yourself what that means. Co-defendant is a very specific fucking term. It means you did it with this guy.
Right.
How do you keep your name and charges off of yourself, even if you're going to be a witness? If you are a co-defendant to a crime, you are charged with the crime. You're an actual fucking primary suspect. You are part of the crime.
Yeah.
You can't hide that. It makes no sense. Now, if you can hide that, bring the data to educate us. But if me and fucking the co-host Cletus going off somebody, whoever pulled the trigger makes the other person a co-defendant. They're being accused with you. So how you make this leap because some motions and some filings refer to different issues. That you got to cover your ass when you're doing all of this. I don't know how you could be a co-defendant, which makes you an absolute participant in the crime alleged and be kept secret. Doesn't matter if they're a confidential informant. You guys have seen this. Come on, folks. How many times have you seen a party of people charged and one person flips on all the others? Right? Isn't that a very common way of things happening here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's look at this Kohberger case. There's a second perpetrator that was involved directly with this crime. That's what a co-defendant means. A co-defendant doesn't mean he was some asshole that gave the guy advice. A co-defendant means you're part of the crime. So when you see parents that are arrested for child abuse, right? They're defendants and co-defendants. They're a party to the crime. That's what a co-defendant would be. Why isn't that person a named person or even an unnamed person because they're cooperating? Where is the case against that person? Why isn't it part of Brian's paperwork? Brian Kohberger is being accused as a sole actor in this case. There's nothing that alleges Brian Kohberger worked with anybody else anywhere. So how do we come to this? How do we decide that now that's actually the truth, that he is? It's taking unverifiable information and making a story out of it. And that's just a road trip of ignorance. Unless they change that definition, no. Please, what is a co-defendant? What is a co-owner? You and Clue buy a house together. You're the primary signer on the mortgage. She's the co-owner. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm. We're both fucking responsible for it.
Right.
We're both
so if you don't pay,
responsible
she's
for
got to
that
pay.
debt. Right. Yeah.
So how can there be a co-defendant? I mean, listen, I'm not attacking you. I'm just trying to understand how statements and words that have specific meanings are twisted to mean whatever you want them to mean. And it's not supposed to work that way, folks. If the world worked that way, we'd be traveling beyond the speed of light long time ago. Long time ago. We'd be traveling the fucking galaxy, the universe, and finding places and going to planets that just are unimaginable because facts don't matter. It's what you think matters. Unbelievable, Cletus. I don't know how we fall down these rabbit holes like this. And I think Mr. Hombre has had so many different opinions and so many different angles that he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing except keeping your attention on his channel so he can get the clicks to make money, which is fair enough. He comes right out and tells you this whole channel's for entertainment purposes. And yet you're on a channel of entertainment that you're taking what he's saying as fact. I can't comprehend that. Can you, Cletus?
No, I can't. I can't understand it. I mean, I think there are some facts potentially that are, mixed in with the entertainment aspect of it. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of fucking channels out here. And there are some that are strictly fact fucking based. So
And
why
very
wouldn't
few.
but here's the better part. The internet exists without YouTube creators. And all of the facts exist without the YouTube creators bringing them to you.
Right. Okay,
You
I don't
can go
have an
find
objection to there being a co-conspirator here. I don't have an objection to there being a material witness here. I'm open to that, but there's not been any indication that that's actually true. So, in other words, I take that information and I hang it on my wall of maybe, right? It's like the same thing with the Sebastian case. Could any of the parents have been involved? Maybe, but there's no data connecting them to it. And so it will always remain a maybe until an absolute fact makes it reality. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian's missing. That's a reality. Do we have any data connecting that missing boys and being missing to any of the parents? Are there any data to support that? And the answer is no.
Right.
So you're left with you have to face reality. The kid vanished like a ghost.
Well, and I made the argument today in a conversation that, not to inflate your motherfucking head any more than it already is, but since I've known you, you've been dead on you got a track record of 2-0, and I have no reason to fucking doubt that you'll be 3-0 in the ultimate conclusion of this one. And he ran the fuck off.
Yeah, he ran off. Either by being lured out of the home or of his own accord.
Right. He ran the fuck off.
And that my life, I ran off too. Yeah, I got thrown out of the house finally. But I was done with them people. I didn't need to live under that fucking mess. And to be very honest with you, and no disrespect to the parents of Sebastian, but from what I've seen happen online, and if I were Sebastian and being who I am, if I was that age and I was that boy, I'd have ran off again. Okay. I'm just saying, and I don't mean it, but it just seems like there's so much chaos and vitriol and anger between these people. And then he seems to be the center of it all. If you guys notice, all of the differences amongst these people are all focused on Sebastian.
Yeah.
And you folks try to live as a kid where everything that causes your parents angst, everything that causes your parents discomfort, causes them money and chaos and negative emotions. It all centers around you. Just imagine being that child. Now, you want to be the child where your kids are, your parents are happy to see you and everything else, and they all get along, and you're all doing things together, and that there was some of that with Sebastian, but I think the overall sense that I get is the three parenting is just wasn't up to spunk,
Yeah.
It's sad. I feel bad for the kid, but again, so that's why I say I think it's accurate that he either was lured away, and or he just got up and left. And that then can lead to a whole bunch of other things, of which none of them have any bearing in reality. We don't know if he was abducted thereafter, or, and you know what I mean? That's
Yep.
why I don't like talking about that shit. Show me some data that can give us a line of sight. Right? It's like going deer hunting in your bedroom. I don't know where the fuck you're going to find a deer in there, but go have at it, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, I managed to make it an extra 15 fucking minutes tonight. How about that? And I'm going to bow out at this point. So.
Well, all right, you can bow out. I'm gonna keep this open for just a little bit longer. It's raining out. It's gonna rain all day tomorrow, so I can't go out with the car. So, old Sarge got a little bit of time.
All right, we'll see you later.
Thanks for coming up. Be good. You two get married.
Yep.
Listen, everything. No, he is not. I never said the Banfield boys did it. There's no comparison between what Hombre does and what I do. If I paint a story, okay, of actual information, like when I say I highly suspect the person that committed this crime was part of the inner circle of the 4 people that were deceased, I backed it up with the stories being told and the evidence given us. That if you take that and put it on a poster board or on a pegboard or whatever, a cork board, or you write it on a chalkboard, you write down everything that you know, and you write down over this case, and you line up what you know about Koberger and the evidence that fails to secure him as the person. What are you left with? Well, you're only left with the occupants of the home. The idea that you could bring the grub truck into it is fucking insanity. There's no argument of the grub truck in anything in these filings. There's no discussion of it in any court papers, any warrants, or any testimony, or any motions. None. The Banfield, there's no information that connects this crime to the Banfield. The simple fact that you can get your hands on that video, okay, doesn't make that video part of this crime. Absolutely not. And that's what I mean about being different than a lot of these streamers. The facts that you have are only the facts available. You cannot add to them to paint a picture that you want to paint. That's tomfoolery. Imagine if you did that in an explosive factory. How many dead people would be in that factory? So the facts paint a picture. Period. And we don't have to like the picture. We don't even have to agree with the picture. But we have to wait until more information is released for that picture to continue to be filled in. You're putting together a puzzle. And to bring in the Banfield boys, to bring in the grub truck, to bring in the frat, to bring in the drug dealers, to bring in the Aryan Nation is an exercise in folly. And it's absolutely the most ignorant way to try to understand the facts that you do have available. There is not a single fact that's been released or disclosed to the public or testified to that has anything to do with any of those topics I just named. Okay? So, that's what I mean. And now here's another point that I try to make all the time. So now Hombre is said to have brought that up. I don't want to talk about what that fucking jerk off has come up with and what he determined is this, that, or the other thing. Go listen to his first videos when he first started the shit he was saying. And he's not saying much different. But what he is, listen, he's clever in that he knows how to play the con game on the fucking victims, which are all of you listeners. You listeners want to hear this kind of shit. You want to hear that there's a video on a cell phone from Saeed in the Banfield video showing the murders. For some reason, you guys, you want to hear that. I don't know why. I don't want to hear that. Where in the accusations of Brian Koberger is any of that information available to us? Nowhere. But in the minds of the fucking guys, they call themselves creators. You know what they're creators of? They're creators of bullshit. Go listen to Tommy Jude and that Bubbly Waters and the fucking woman with the central scrutinized. Go listen to them people and the stories they tell. Go look at connecting it to the guy that walked to the dumpster. And listen, Daigle will be the first to tell you that when that Linda Lane footage came out, I walked away from all of you guys because it was a distraction that was going to go nowhere except cause all kinds of bullshit and third-party fucking stories. And everything I told Daigle was going to happen with Linda Lane did happen. Okay? It's absolutely incredible. If it isn't written in a document or in a testimony, then I don't want really see any relevance to it. And the other thing too is, folks, you're not gonna the odds of solving this case, which is what it seems like a lot of people are trying to come, they want to find something they could believe is a good idea, or believe that, and you're not supposed to do that with any information. I do not accept the Banfield videos because there's nothing in the case in front of us that brings the Banfield videos to it. I do not accept them as part of the story. Okay? Because there's nothing in the case against Kohlberger. So why would you guys be interested in knowing what happened at the grub truck? I know that they use some of the times and some of the locations, and that show you where these people went that night. But it doesn't tell you that anybody followed them from there. It doesn't say that Brian Kohlberger was there. It doesn't say anything in any of those instances that connect to the accusations against Brian Kohlberger. So why would I care what the frat boys were doing? Now, does the fight that Ethan have, could that have something to do with what happened that night? Sure. Sure, it could. But really, that's not being alleged, is it? What are they alleging? They alleging Kohlberger did it. So I find no joy or no entertainment in trying to come up with an idea of how the frats involved is because of that fight. I just don't. What's being alleged, the story that's being alleged, the evidence that was used to arrest Kohlberger is the issue that I pay attention to. Yeah, he did. He said that the 4 guys running down across the front of the Banfield camera, the cop camera, those 4 guys were the ones that did it. He could prove it. He just had that video the other day. I saw the title. And I listened to a few minutes of it, and I just turned it off, shaking my head. Absolutely, he did. The four guys that run across that camera with the cop at the Banfield or wherever the cop is in the field somewhere by a road where he's talking to Saeed and others, and 4 kids go jogging by, and he showed you how those guys entered the house from a different direction. Blah 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 blah. It's crazy. It's all irrelevant, folks, unless it becomes relevant. If data is released, like somebody, it was on Golf Inspector's channel today, and Miss Potts, her name is Ann. Ann was saying something that I've said many times, that when the federal investigation was brought up inside of that courtroom, my initial thought was that the state, the county, the city, the town, the law enforcement officials, the prosecutors, the police, my first gut feeling when I heard that said in a Brian Kohlberger hearing was they're investigating the fucking state. Okay? Not Kohlberger. But again, if they are investigating Kohlberger, okay, then I suspect that the FBI or the feds are looking at it from a different angle that may in fact be exonerative or exculpatory to Kohlberger. That they may in fact think that someone else did this or other people were involved. There's always that pot. But here's the point. Other than knowing that there's a federal grand jury connected to this case, we have no idea what its connection to the case is. So until we do, it's another data point of fact, but it's an unknown fact. We don't know to the extent or even the topic of why the FBI or the federal government is involved in this case. We know they are. That's all we know. So it could be anything. It could be they're investigating the town. It could be they're investigating Kohlberger as the doer. It could be they're investigating a parallel investigation that they think other people were involved or other people did. It could be any of that. But where's the value in discussing it until you actually know? I don't know. It's like talking about the 20-pound fish I'm going to catch. I mean, when that day happens, it happens, and then I'll talk about the fish. Right? But until then, I just know that there's a 20-pound fish in the lake nearby. But it would be up to me to go catch it before I make a discussion of it. So, look, and I don't know the guy Hombre. He's just another example of streamers. They call themselves content creators, and they're creating totally theorized rabbit holes. I don't care. I'm not here to talk about Hombre. Go enjoy his channel. I don't really give a fuck what he says because it just isn't my cup of tea. I don't want to theorize about everything. If you can't build a story based only on the facts inside the documents we have, then then I don't even know. And I've got my own particular opinion of what happened here, and I've shared it. I've done a stream about it, sticking only with the data given to us by the authorities and by the defense team, sticking only to those facts. I see a picture that includes people in the house involved in one way, shape, or form. And that's my opinion of the facts if you take Kohberger out. And it appears at this point that the government themselves are taking Kohberger out. They cannot verify his whereabouts. They cannot verify he was in that home. So no, I don't like the fish at all. I think I just brought up the fish because it was just an easy analogy. The Karen Reed case. Malfeasance by the police themselves should be the main reason that you give someone reasonable doubt, even if they did it. Just so you folks know. That's it. This is America. You can't trample my rights to then find me guilty of a crime. If you trample my rights, you actually, as a government, you forfeited your right to prosecute me. I don't understand how Americans don't get that. Well, you're going to let a guilty guy go. No. You're not letting him go. You violated his rights. You committed a crime against him or her. Okay? And that trumps everything. That's why they call it the justice system. They don't call them catch them while you can. You can't cross the line. You can't look a jury in the eyes and lie to their face. In that case, that man not be charged with a crime. I have a real issue with what happened in the Karen Reed case. If you're going to lie in court and you're going to tell me you weren't somewhere while there's a picture behind you supporting your argument, it proves that you were not near the passenger side taillight. And then later under cross-examination, you admit you know that picture's been reversed. That in fact, where you're actually standing is behind the fucking passenger side taillight. It is. But because it was inverted and put you behind the driver's side taillight, you as a policeman looked that jury in the eyes and said, we absolutely were nowhere near the left side taillight. While they're looking at a picture of you standing at the right side of the vehicle. That guy should be incarcerated for that immediately. He should have been taken off the stand by the bailiff and put in jail. Held in contempt of court. That's how your justice system is supposed to work. You're not supposed to drive 65 and a 30 so you could go get coffee. I mean, we're not stupid. We all know this, yet as a society, what do? We have the greatest fucking power of all, this instant ability to communicate, and we just waste it on entertainment, because Jay Hombre said, listen, read the documents, get your opinion from the documents, and then discuss it. That's it. Yeah, again, he's just another one of these guys that are entertainment channels, and he's making money out here. That's what he's here for. I don't have a problem with that. But I have a problem when an entertainment guy's information is then brought up as fact. Who is Tanya Rhodes? What has she got to do with anything? Where is she in any of these filings? Where can you prove to me that person is involved? And you just can't do it. And I'm telling you, then don't bring it up. I don't want to hear it. And you shouldn't want to hear it. That's what you should be saying to the people that are delivering that information. If you can't factually sustain this, then it should not be spoken. What does the media do to us all the time? This is what I try to say to people. I don't listen to media no more. No, you come on YouTube and listen to the assholes on here to do the same thing the media does to you. I got sources. Sources in the FBI. Sources are telling us the FBI had Kohberger pulled over twice in Indiana. No, no, that didn't happen. The FBI came forward and that's not true. We did not do that. But the original story said they did. And everybody ran around, and they're still running around with that the FBI ordered the Indiana police to pull him over twice. False. The FBI said it's false. Therefore, you have to accept the FBI's statement that it's false, right? So, that's, folks, you need to examine the system as the system's operating, and you need to call it out when it needs to be called out, and we need to focus on those things as a group. I don't care what happened on the Banfield. I just don't. Or on a cell phone. What it does is it protects Bill Thompson or whatever his name is. It protects the prosecution in Idaho. It protects the police. It protects their investigators. I want to know why the crime scene was investigated with people wearing blue jeans and windbreakers. Here's what I want to know. And I think this is one of the reasons people are still hung up on the DNA. But here's a question that we should, as screamers, try to examine. How the hell can you go into a home where there's been a horrific multiple homicide, wearing street clothes, and only cover your shoes with protection, maybe put on a pair of gloves and a COVID mask, okay? And come out of there with microscopic evidence and tell me that microscopic evidence is perfectly sterile, perfectly correct, perfectly protected, perfectly accurate. How is it that you can do that and accept that statement? That is not how you're to search for microscopic evidence. How can you show me videos and pictures of a woman sneezing into her arm? Sneezing into the crock of her arm while she's collecting and swabbing the wall and swabbing the floor. How can that be acceptable, folks? What kind of people did the investigation on that crime scene? We don't talk about that. No, we want to talk about the Banfield boys. We want to talk about the frats and the drug dealers. And we want to talk about the Aryan Nation. Come on. What about the delay? The delay for the phone call? Well, that's one delay. What about the 5-hour delay for the chief investigator to show up? What are you talking about? You could drive out of that state in any direction in less than 5 hours. Literally. You could leave that state in basically any direction and be out of it within 5 hours. How the hell couldn't you have got to that crime scene sooner? Do we know how the people that were at the crime scene were separated, how they were questioned? Why were they kept in groups? We did see pictures of them in groups. Why was that? Who trained your investigators? What's the name of that person? What's the programs that you're using? All of this shit matters, folks, and it gets ignored. You mean to tell me you searched this guy's car that was supposed to be a petri dish of evidence, and you found not anything, not even the most microscopic particle? Well, the car was clearly in your possession, okay, under your control, and yet you could find nothing to connect to that crime scene from that car? Well, maybe that's because the car that actually was at the crime scene. If you guys want to understand why they could find nothing in Kohlberger's car, and you assholes running around saying he wrapped himself in a shower curtain, he was wearing fucking Dickies, you fucking idiots. The reason you couldn't find anything in Kohlberger's car because the car in the PCA is an 11 to 13. It ain't Kohlberger's car at the scene, you fucking morons. That's why when you went and looked at his car, you couldn't find anything. That's like coming to look at my house for evidence against the Idaho 4. It's like going to your house and looking. That's how fucking incredible it is. The facts are there to tell you the reason why there was no DNA connected to Brian Kohlberger in his car. Because his car wasn't the car speeding away at 4:20 a.m. It was an 11 to 13, folks. You can't even have that discussion with people. All of these pieces of data, we have all of this information that when you start putting it together to make sense of it, the only sense it makes is that it doesn't appear that they have any evidence to show Kohlberger was anywhere near that fucking house. That's what their evidence says. Another crucial piece of data. Why didn't you figure out his car had none of that before you arrested him? Why didn't you surreptitiously get a sample of his DNA before you ever arrested him? Why did you have to go to Pennsylvania to get his DNA out of his dad's garbage can? Why didn't you just get a warrant from a judge and go in his apartment? Why were you swabbing at his dad's house, for fuck's sakes? Why weren't you swabbing in Idaho or Washington? Washington. Why weren't you doing that? You knew the guy's apartment was empty. You knew his desk was at work was still there. You knew his apartment still had a big screen TV. Holy, maybe they didn't know that. But they did know where he lived, that he had left. They saw him in Indiana. Listen, personally, when you ID'd the guy or had any knowledge that he had left the jurisdiction, I think at that point you could have went to a judge to get a warrant or to impanel a grand jury who would then issue investigative warrants. And you could have done an investigation of Brian Kohlberger. But these people didn't do that. These idiots arrested him first and then got warrants for DNA. And even if the DNA matches, I suspect that it's going to become inadmissible in the court of law. That's the tragedy in this case. If Koberger did do this, folks, and none of us are paying attention to what the police, not none of us, but the majority of people that are watching online or participating with these hombre fucking people are not paying attention to what the police and what the government has done in handling this case. It's almost as if people don't think it matters as long as they get the right guy. And that's why we're losing our country. It's because we would rather look at a form of entertainment and focus on something like a rabbit hole from Bubbly Waters or some fucking reflection some asshole sees in a video he's playing with. Taken at night, okay? In the dark. Then actually get down into the nitty-gritty and understand how are our law enforcement agencies supposed to investigate a crime scene like this? What outfits should they wear? What level of training and experience should they have? When do they call in for help? Who is the help? How do they handle it? No, we don't want to talk about none of those fucking facts. Right? And that's what shocks me here. You got everything to gain and nothing to lose. And then you got people that are bringing up these crazy fucking stories of the things that we've witnessed. Look at that guy drip drop. People parachuted in. Tunnels under the house, ladders that were climbed up to egress or enter the home, blood on a roof. I could go on and on about it. And how many people still watch him? What is the value of watching a person present you information about a murder case and none of his information has any validity? It's not factual. And they stress to you that it is. I don't tell stories. I don't tell lies. I give only facts here. And yet, then even when he's disclosed or it's discovered with everybody's own two eyes that he was wrong, right? He vanishes for a couple of weeks and nobody says another word about it. Then he comes back and everybody slowly just gravitates back into his channel again. You know that he was wrong. You know that he lied. You know it was bullshit. You unequivocally know that now. Nobody confronts him. Nobody questions him about it. You just all flock back in like you're his buddies and give him another 10,000 views a day so we can continue to earn money, which I'm glad he earns money. I earn money too. I earn a lot of money. I'm fucking loving people that make money. But I don't earn money by lying to you or telling you what you want to hear so I could get into your pocket. I don't analyze you and give you and I can sell people stuff easily that way. You can listen to people. They tell you what they want to hear. And I would never do that to somebody. I don't care what you want to hear. There's a right way and a wrong way to do things. I'm selling you the right way. If you don't agree with it, or you don't want to be involved with it, whatever. Have a good fucking day. The next guy that comes around will get that service from me. It's so easy to live life, and it's so easy to actually see what's in front of you if you just stop allowing yourself to be distracted by these insane topics. Right? And these people that parse sentences, like that's why I can't, I'm not going to mention the guy, but the one guy that I keep banning from here. There's a person that will not consider any malfeasance or any mistake, willingly or unwittingly, by the police themselves, or by the prosecution, or by the investigative teams. And you can't have a conversation with someone like that. I accept that Brian Koberger could be the perpetrator in this crime. I wholeheartedly accept that. I will not question that. If evidence is shown to me and to the public, you don't have to show me personally. I'm nobody. I'm just like anybody else, right? So if you can show that evidence, and I don't want to see evidence that you're dreaming up on your cell phone or your desktop or because you heard somebody in a stream say it. I don't want to hear about Tanya Rhodes unless there's a document connecting her to it where she's willing to come forward and talk about it in the first person. I don't want to hear any of their information. If somewhere down the road it's relevant, then I expect to hear it in a way that would make it relevant. And we all should hold each other to that standard. It's not that hard to do. Probably took a ton of evidence out of that house in a U-Haul. Still makes me shake my head. They destroyed the house. The handling of this case has been so piss poor that I suspect that even if Koberger did it, they're not going to be able to nail him with it. Because whether people like it or not, You can't accuse me of being at an ice cream shop, okay? When I was home, all right? You say all you want, but in this particular case, they're accusing Kohlberger of being at a house when they knew the car at the house wasn't his. That to me is an egregious error. That's willful error, in my opinion. You will not find the evidence that two SKs, I don't know what an SK is, working for the FBI did the Idaho 4. I don't know what you're saying. You will not find the evidence that two SKs working for the FBI did the Idaho 4. I have no idea what you're saying, Olivia, or why you're even saying that. Right? I don't know, and to what, put context around that. Maybe you did earlier and I missed it because I'm trying to read what you guys are saying. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's just not so easy. So take a second on the two SKs working for the FBI did the Idaho 4. So I don't know who did the Idaho 4, no more than anybody but the people that were directly involved with it. I have my suspicions that someone connected to the circle of the victims was involved in some way, shape, or form. I can accept that a complete stranger like Brian Kohlberger could in fact go and perform the task as outlined in that document, or even as outlined in a different document. But so far, the document that they've outlined supports no water. None of it puts them at that house. And because no DNA or IgG work was used to obtain the arrest warrant that charged him with multiple homicides, because none of that was part of that issuance of that warrant, nothing that they used in the issuance of that warrant can place Brian Kohlberger at that home. That's irrefutable. And because of that, then I should say to you that he should never have been arrested. To me, and to anybody that wants to see justice, whether you like it or not, needs to be based on a fact. Just accusing somebody of something isn't enough. But too many people out here in true crime and too many people in the United States seems to just not understand that. The accusation in and of itself is meaningless. How they got to that accusation is everything. How they got to it, what they have to support the accusation, right? That stuff means something. I mean, you know, like I can make a lot of claims. Like you guys hear me say often, I don't want your money, I don't need your money. Now, there's people that are out here that I would trust. I could show them what I'm worth. I wouldn't object to doing that at all. I can verify what I say, in other words. I'm not going to people on YouTube, obviously, but my point is, I won't make statements about myself just to puff myself up. Look how good I am, or I'm better than you. I just won't do it. When I say I'm smarter than most of you, I mean it. And I think I can prove it. Just how I approach these topics and how I look at the data, the way I observe it. It's not that hard to do. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. I also get caught up in some of these theories and some of this drama. I got caught up on that early on. Then I broke away over to Linda Lane, and then I came back. And, you know, a lot of these theories, they piqued my interest, and I discussed them too. So again, I am not a better, or nor am I immune. But we're all trapped in this mental mind fuck that we keep feeding. We're the ones feeding our own mental mind fuck. And it's tragic. It would help the police if the police were being reported. Off book black ops never go public. Yeah. I don't know how that's got anything to do with this case. There's nothing. Again, it's just another theory that, you know, I don't know. None of us know who did it. But all of us, if we look at the same documentation where it tells you the guy's phone turned off for 2 hours, right? If your phone is off for 2 hours, and that's the primary basis under which they're going to locate you, and they can't locate you because it's off, then you can't tell me where I was. I don't give a fuck who you are. You cannot tell me where I was. You shouldn't even try to tell me where I was. All you can say is that my phone connected to a network that serviced the Queen Road residents. That's it. That's the only connection you can make, which means I could be in anywhere of 11 miles from that residence. or whatever miles the tower covers. So I don't take my numbers a fact. It's an example. If I'm west of the tower, however far that tower's western fucking receiver reaches, I could be anywhere from the western tower, from where that house is, and anywhere in the coverage zone of that particular area. That's all you could say. To infer that means I committed a crime is fucking incredibly ignorant. That's like me. It's like me claiming that you're in the mall and a crime happened in the mall, and because you're in the mall, that means you were part of the crime. Don't you think you would need something a little more positive than that? Just your presence at the mall doesn't make you a criminal for a crime that happened at the mall. And you yourself wouldn't accept that. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I was at the mall. Where were you 3 o'clock? I don't know, but I wasn't over where the guy got shot. But you were at the mall. Well, so were hundreds of other people at the mall. Why me? And that's the area that needs to be filled in with specific accuracy. Why you? And you don't have that in this Koberger case. No matter what these people want to theorize about who coulda, woulda, shoulda, okay? No matter what they want to say about what's real and what's not real, the fact is you can't argue with the documents that were given to you. This is the accusation made by the police. And they cannot locate that man at the house. And what people often forget, especially a lot of people that, well, the DNA. Wait a minute, on your DNA. The DNA had nothing to do with the original accusation he committed these murders. That was found after the allegation. So let's go back to this, right? It was found after the allegations. So let's say they say you were at the mall and there was a murder at the mall, but you were not at the mall. As a matter of fact, they're saying you were at the mall. There's no evidence placing you at the mall. None. Zero. Right? And then they go get a warrant to arrest you, and they have no way to confirm your location. That arrest is not valid. How do you support the arrest? Well, we found things at the crime scene that connect them. You know, if you'd have found multiple pieces of DNA after, but you're claiming his phone, video, his previous 12 trips, you're making all of these wild accusations, and they're wild. And those wild accusations equal this guy more than likely committed this crime, and you charge him. But all of those accusations turn out to be false. To me, that's just the case is bunked. It's screwed. Yeah, I remember that going back there, Olivia. But I have no way to verify if that car is an 11 to 13, if that car was even involved in that crime or on that street. None of us do. It's to him being a dead man walking. I highly suspect he's not. I don't think Ann Taylor is going to let that happen. I think that you have a very principled lawyer involved here. And I think that I don't know. Do we have proof that they made sure all those photos were deleted? You know, I mean, you're telling a story based on a theory here of something that there's nothing that shows me that car is connected, other than it's just another theory. It's like talking about the Banfield, Olivia. That's one theory that the FBI. I don't know. You don't know either. So, all right, folks. I think it's a good time to cut off, and I appreciate people coming in, even though I'm less than pleasant sometimes. So yeah, have yourselves a good night. I am going to I don't know. Got a Sherlock Holmes book I've been reading, so I'm probably going to dip into that a little bit while it's raining outside. Thanks for coming in. Hit subscribe, hit like, hit yourself, smack your girls, hit something, would you, folks? Just hit it.